today we look at reflections, a conversation in my head about water. I was like, awesome idea. I have to tell people about it. My mouth cannot just shut up. Woo! Hi, I am Zokaremi. Welcome back. How is your January going? I recently just turned a new chapter. My birthday was just the other day. I am excited for a new year and a new chapter in my life, and I'm kind of excited about how it's going to turn out. If I'm honest, recording in January is quite a stretch. I feel like I forgot everything and I have to start from scratch. I am trying my best to get my head back in the game, but we got this. Plus, not to forget, I'm just from cleaning, and that's where all this is coming from. So I needed to clean a surface, and I put some disinfectant in a bucket with water, and the water started turning white and cloudy and all that. But then I left it to sit for a while while I tended to something else. But when I came back, everything had sort of settled down a bit, and things had settled, and the water was just there looking semi-cloudy or something. And that's when I started having a conversation in my head about water. I was like, awesome idea. I have to tell people about it. My mouth cannot just shut up. So yeah, here we go. When you think about the beach, all you're thinking about is, the breeze, the incredible pictures, the views, the blue waters, my feet on the sand. I don't think anyone ever thinks about how deep the ocean is, yeah? So I'll tell you something about me. I do swim. Like, I'm not an expert swimmer or something, but I know my way around the water. But one thing I have noted about myself is if my feet cannot touch the ground, we have a problem. I mean, even if it's the deep end of a swimming pool, like my feet have to be somewhere. Like if I sink in, I have to be able to like touch the ground or something so that I can be sure something somehow is holding me down, and I'll get back. And I remember the last time I was in a beach somewhere in some blue waters, very pretty waters actually. A conversation I was having with some guys who are familiar with the waters, and these guys, they kept saying, if you want to enjoy the swim, go deeper. Clearly they did not know who they were talking to, but that was the thing they were saying. If you really want to enjoy your swim and actually have a good experience swimming, go deeper. And I kept asking them, is it safe to go deeper? And they said, yeah, if you can swim, then go deeper. But then this other guy was saying, if you can swim, go deeper. But if you go deeper, you better know how to swim, And I tried it like as deep as my feet could hit the ground. I tried to go as deep as possible. And as I was going, I realized that the deeper you go, the more the waters carry you. It's like they're calling on your name, Moana. Moana. Okay, you need to have watched it to understand. But it's like the waters are calling on you to just keep coming deeper, keep coming deeper. And so they tell you, if you want to enjoy your swim, go deeper. But if you do go deeper, you better know how to swim, because the deeper you go, the more the waters will draw you. Okay, long story short, I never went deep. Who goes deep into the sea? Like, don't you love life or something? But as now I was cleaning, I was just thinking about how precious the water is. Every time you're planning to go on holiday in some beach somewhere, you're never planning about going to the deep waters. Like, your mind is never thinking, I miss the deeps of the ocean. Unless you're like a diver or something. But I don't think that's usually your agenda. Your agenda is your agenda is typically tied to the views, the venue, the feet on the sun, the sun. I don't even know, but it's more the view and the experience rather than, the deep swimming. But then that's when I started thinking about how much God there is in everything we do. It's as if every creation was made to reflect the Creator, which now is the essence of the topic. So if you Google a bit about the ocean, you will realize that a lot of the incredible mysteries have been figured out in the water. And even to common man, what has been explored is still unknown. Like, we don't even know much of what has been explored unless you're like a nerd or a scientist or something. Many of us don't even know what has been explored, and yet it is said that between 7 to 10% of the ocean is explored. I mean, 7 to 10% in 2023. What are these scientists doing? But what I'm saying is that if in 2023 between 7 to 10% of the water has been explored, tell me how much more of the ocean is there. Like, deep how much deeper the ocean goes, more than has already been discovered, And I couldn't help relate this to God. Honestly, I think water is the best reflection of what God looks like. It should be human beings, but we are flawed and all, so we are going back to water. And I think about the water. First of all, the views are exquisite. Woo! Like, I feel like the oceans offer the best views. Anything that has a water body, like whether it's waterfalls or rivers or whatever, even oceans, waters have such incredible views. Most of the views that you like, or I like rather, that are about nature, they are surrounded with water, maybe near water, or places where water was and then it dried. It's just something to do with water, and it's just a big reflection of how beautiful God can be. Yeah. So the views are so pretty. But then let's talk about the breeze. Whew. If you have been in work for like a long period and then you have a break where you need to go to the beach, oh, it is so much rejuvenating. I don't know, it's something about the breeze and being semi-naked without judgment, and walking barefoot without, again, judgment, without jiggers or whatever, and having hair that is blown away, even though it's fussy and kinky, but it's just blown away by the wind. And then the light clothing, the wrap skirts that go and flow with the wind, the pictures, the breeze, and the food. I don't know, there's just something about beaches and waters and all that, and it's just rejuvenating to go near water. And even if you're not thinking beaches, maybe you're thinking a forest and then you encounter a waterfall. It's just how the water flows and the fresh air that surrounds the water. I don't know. The breeze is just amazing. Something about water is very rejuvenating. And I guess that's why we do take a shower after a long day. Well, I hope you all take a shower after a long day. But yeah, taking a shower, there's something about water that brings refreshment. It makes you feel like, it's just an incredible feeling. But then that's just not it. There's also the fun in water. I honestly believe if you want to have some of your funnest moments, you can have them in water or with water. It's how you slide with water or in water, the swimming, the I don't know. Water is just fun. It's how you can flap your feet in water and it's just fun. It takes you back to being a little girl or a little boy. Yeah, I don't know if boys have such experiences, but that a small child in you that loved to play in water. Like, something about water makes you go back to being a child and enjoying moments. All this time you are forgetting that the sun is here, right here on your forehead, the scorching sun. So if you don't have sunscreen, oh. But then there is also the other side of water that is quite honestly scary. One of my scarier, not the scariest, but the scarier moments have been in water. These moments where I couldn't feel my feet on the ground, and for a moment I just lost faith in my ability to swim, and I just started drowning and drinking water. It's entering through your nose. Ooh, that image even just makes me cringe. But you see, the waters, they make you feel, they intimidate you. I think the word is they intimidate you when they come like when you're in the ocean and there's a strong wave, it intimidates you. It makes you question your ability to stand on your own, your ability to swim, your ability to take care of yourself. It's like everything you've trusted about life is just taken away just like that. And I think that's one of the thing I'm talking about. The other side of water, it's that it can be quite intimidating. And it's worse if you don't know how to swim, because I don't even know how you get like your ankle in the water when you don't know how to swim, at least even just to survive. I don't know. So to think of water is not just to think about the beautiful side, but also the negative side. But then that makes me see God in water, because number one, I feel like God is too deep for our understanding. I don't even think we as human beings have understood 7 to 10% of God. And I feel like anyone who came close to that just went to heaven. Like Akina Enoch, they walked with God and until they were no more. They probably knew things about God and just had to leave Earth. I just feel like water describes God a lot. And we could say that about so many things. We could say that about fire. Fire is warm, it brings warmth, it helps you cook, it disinfects, it mends things, it purifies, it's beautiful. Flames can be beautiful if you're not touching them, of course, but then flames can be quite dangerous. They can light an entire area, they can bring down nations. So, and I feel like everything about nature just keeps pointing back to God, whether it's fire, whether it's water, whether it's the wind and how strong it is, how it can dry clothes, but then how it can just carry you away. And even trees, how they give life and they remain steady no matter what you do to them, whether you mean or they just remain steadfast there. They are present, they are rooted, they just keep nourishing you. They provide shadows, they go deep. Like, I just feel like everything about nature reflects God, which then now brings me to the point of human beings. We are supposed to be the image bearers of God. Like, when everything else is pointing to God, we are literally supposed to be, yo, look at me and see God. But then I feel like because of our fallen state, we least reflect God. I mean, we are supposed to be the warmest people. We are supposed to show love and kindness. And people can be dangerous too. They can be angry too, but they can be so loving. They can make literal heaven touch earth every single time they speak and act and all that. But I feel because of our fallen nature, we don't do that. But yeah, then I even started thinking about how, although we as human beings are fallen and we fail to reflect Christ as we should, things about us still point to God, whether we like it or not. Like, I was just thinking about friendships and how being friends with someone is like real friends. Stop with this friendship for we go on dunda every other night or we are workmates. No, I'm talking about genuine friendships that have to be worked on, that are intentional and are filled with purpose and all that. I feel like such friendships, they also reflect God, because how do you explain someone who is not your blood? They they really just met you the other day in your grown and very dysfunctional state, and then they love you and they show up for you and they care for you. They become your greatest cheerleader. I don't know, friendships are just strange to me. If I'm honest, I feel like they are the strangest thing next to marriages and births of children. I think friendships are quite strange to me. I am yet to comprehend how you can just meet someone, a random stranger, and you like probably the shirt they are wearing. And that becomes the reason you guys become friends for life. And you guys talk through the hardest things you can't even talk to your family about. You walk places, you do things together that you've not done with anyone. You open up about trauma and about passions and about secret things, and you walk deep journeys with people you've technically with strangers, not raised, born together, nothing, just a stranger. And it takes me back to that part in the Bible where it says that there's a friend. There's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. I mean, it's talking about Jesus, but you see the point. Friendships also point to the love of God to us. Actually, the Bible says that God offers his friendship to the righteous. So, like, that thing I'm saying is strange. The friendship thing, the me not understanding how people can be in your corner like that. Like how David and Jonathan can be that tight until after Jonathan dies, David goes to look for Mephibosheth, that Mephibosheth, that guy. He goes to look back to find that guy, to show him kindness because of Jonathan. You see how I'm telling you, friendships really, they are just complex. They just have to be Jesus the whole time. They just have to be from Jesus, about Jesus, pointing to Jesus, all that. Even though you guys are not like Christian, I don't understand how people can just be there for you like that. And that's one of the things I'm learning in adulthood, that friendships are quite sacred, and more than we think, they do point to God. And they point to God being a friend to us, offering his friendship to us. He is, now I do understand why some people look like they were favored a bit too much by God in the Bible. And it's that thing for you are my friend. You know how God talked to Abraham and to Kina Moses like friends. That thing, my friend, that thing is just, it blows my mind away. But then that's just that part. There's also marriage, which is also another strange concept, how two people can come together and be one. Whether you guys know God or not, hey, marriage will make you one. You'll be here brushing your teeth with the same toothbrush. You'll be here just, I don't know, sleeping close to each other with that warm, nasty breath, and you still take it. Like, this person that you've not known, you have tied yourself, your heart, your soul, your mind, your spirit to this person so much so that you'd go to hospital and sleep in that bed with them, even when they have COVID. Like, me, I'm telling you, some things, they are just strange. And that thing for marriage is just, I think that's so obvious to say that marriage should point to God, and it reflects God and how God loves us with such a sacrificial, unconditional love. Like, we human beings are not there yet, but marriage can get you as close to that as possible. And that's the most obvious thing. But then also childbirth, it's how you just raise a something. A something starts to grow in your tummy, and you bring them to life, and then you love them with all your heart, but you're annoyed with them with also all your heart, but then you still love them, and you're willing to do everything and anything for them, yet hating on them and lashing out on them and all that. And then they become their own person, but you don't want to let them go because they are yours. It's so strange. So what I'm saying is that everything, literally everything in this life, is pointing back to its creator. The water is diligent to point back to God. Like, you even look in the water and you see a reflection of yourself, reminding you, hey, who's your creator? But then we are humans, we never even care about such things. The water, fire, and trees, and I don't know, grass, literally everything has a way that it points back to its creator. And human beings, whether we know it or not, whether we acknowledge it or not, the fact is we are always made to point. In fact, we are the image bearers of Christ. We are supposed to be the ones pointing to our creator more than anything else in nature. Yeah, but the thing is, everything around us is evidence that we have a creator. So whether or not you believe in God, when you are raised by parents and they love on you and they take care of you, and admittedly not everyone gets the privilege to have good parents, but when you do have such parents, it points to God being a father. And even when you miss having good parents, you have siblings. Oh, they annoying siblings, but then they are annoying and you still love them to death. And it also points to the love that God has for each of the human beings, whether you are a murderer or a person, he just loves you the same. And if you miss out on that, you then get to the place where you find friendships and you wonder why one person could love me this much. And it's probably because you love them as much. But even you, how could you love someone that much? Like, what's wrong with you? So you do see my point. Everything about life is pointing back to God. And so I think my challenge to me and to us is to be a bit more intentional in actually pointing back to God, because ultimately he is God. We love him, we care about him, we praise him and all that, but I don't think we care enough to represent him the right way. Water is doing a better job at reflecting God than us, and fire is way better at reflecting God than we are, and trees and everything else in nature, even our friendships, our marriages, our children, our parents, I don't know, our siblings, whatever circles we are in, everything else around us is doing a much better job at reflecting God than we are. And I would like to, I don't know, charge you guys to also be part of the creation that intentionally reflects God. If anything, we are supposed to outdo everything else in nature. We are supposed to outdo water. Not one day has water changed. Not one, even rocks. Can you imagine even rocks reflecting God? I mean, enyewe we have too much audacity. As human beings, we have too much audacity to not reflect God after all he does for us. So yeah, maybe in 2023 do better of that. You know, this thing for you keep telling people, oh, like for example, the other time where during Christmas, people kept saying, oh, you should not celebrate Christmas if you don't understand the concept of Christ and all that. And I'm like, okay, sure, that's that. I see the point, but also you should not call yourself Christian if you don't quite understand the concept of Christ. Should you? Like Christians is also like Christ, like it starts with Christ, then Yans. So we are people that walk the way, people of the way. Actually, in the Bible, back in the day, they used to call Christians, before they were first called Christians in Antioch, they were called people of the way. People of the way, yeah, I think people of the way or something like that. So yeah, we should look more like Christ unintentionally and intentionally. People should be able to look at you and be like, Aki, God is good. Oh, God is love. God is kind. God is beautiful. But when people look at you, they are always complaining. They're always saying things are wrong. I guess I understand why so many people are against being Christian, especially after encountering Christians, because we keep saying we love Jesus and all that, but we don't quite behave like people who love Jesus. I mean, there is a place for putting boundaries. Even water bodies, they have boundaries that were marked from the beginning of time, that they were not supposed to cross those boundaries. So there is the place for putting boundaries. You know, you're not supposed to pass this part. You don't have to like everyone, you don't have to be friends with everyone, but you do have to love everyone and be a carrier of love, show love and kindness to everyone, like literally carry the fruit of the spirit. You're gentle, you have kindness, you have patience, you have joy and all that. So I don't know, I just feel like maybe the charge for this 2023 should be like water, reflect God more. You know, when people look at you, you know, like when you look at water, you see your image, and it makes you start going back to yourself and asking yourself questions, and you have all this meditation going on. Let people, when they look at you, they have a chance to meditate and think about themselves and be like, enyewe, what have I been doing in this life? How can I do better in life and all that? When people interact with you, let them live having an experience, a good experience. Be a view. People would like to take pictures with you, smile when they are with you. They want to smile and have a good time. You guys, people feel rejuvenated when they spend time with you, not because you are dope. Okay, maybe because you are dope, but more so because you keep reflecting God, and they keep being drawn to you. Because the other thing is, as dangerous as the waters are, as dangerous as the ocean is, and sometimes it damages things, people still go back and build in those places, knowing very well that maybe in 5 years times or in 10, I don't know how long it takes maybe to have like tsunamis and tornadoes and all those things, but they know, they keep building near the ocean, knowing very well that something like that can happen. Why? Because there's this thing that keeps drawing you to water. You know, it can be dangerous, but then it draws you. It is warm, it is beautiful, it is fun, it just makes you feel good about life. So maybe that's the charge, that every time in this life we try to be more like God. When people look at you, let them be drawn to you, even though you may not always want to be friends with everyone. You can love on people, you can laugh with people, you can give people show people a good time. Everywhere you go, show people a good time. Me, that's one of my philosophies, by the way. Everywhere I go, I try to show people a good time. I mean, I don't always ace it, but to as much as I can, I try to show people a good time. I will laugh, I will make merry, I don't know, whatever it takes, but it should not even be forced. But everywhere you go, keep showing people a good time. Let people be drawn to God because of you. This Christian thing people keep going on about, Christians are the poorest, they are the meanest, they are the ugliest people to be around. Oh, they look like trash. Yo, let's look nice in 2023. Let's smell nice. Let's brush our teeth, my friends. Let's smile more. Let's indulge with people. Let's even be knowledgeable. Know things. Don't just be an empty debe. You just go into places and people want to run away because you keep making small talk. You have nothing good to share. Give people a time to speak. Listen to people. Stop interrupting people. Like, there's so much to go on that you can do better as a human being and reflect your creator. Like, there's this song I love by Sheila Juma. I was introduced to it by a friend of mine, and it says, Jiwe halitanishinda. Like, the stone will not outdo me. Let the waters not outdo you this year, imagine. Let the water not outdo you. Let compete with water to reflect God. Quench people's thirst. Give them the breeze. Give them a good time. Bring on some waves. Let them know the layers of who you are. They may not be able to know every deep thing about God because we are all learning, but let them get to know the layers of God, that He is kindness, He is love. That even when I dislike you, even when you are not my friend, I can still be generous and kind. Like, let's just outdo water here. Let's do better, and I hope this becomes your story for 2023, that you reflected God, that you outdid water, and that many people kinda loved God, kinda knew God because of you. Yeah? Okay, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to my whole conversation, because today I feel like I was all over the place. It's the whole not having it together thing, but I'm excited that you stayed this far. If you stayed this far, like the video, tell me what your thoughts are, tell me what your plans are in reflecting God, and I hope to keep seeing you. Let's just make this world a better place. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Bye.